Captain's log, 21st of September 2023, and not good news. The big event of the last few days was on Saturday, which is 4 days ago now. We went out on the fishing trip, and when we onboarded everybody at the dock, the engine wouldn't start, so we tried to investigate why. Obviously, we found that the stop button on the control panel, the ignition control panel, whereby you press it to stop the engine, was stuck in. So therefore it was sending a permanent stop signal. So we took the panel off, took the one of the terminals off, so we disconnected it, and then the engine started and kept running. So we thought, great, we're off to the races. 5 minutes later, as we were just, I don't know, perhaps a kilometre out into the bay, the engine stopped again, and I was actually down here by the engine, and I didn't hear anything unusual. I just heard it stop. And I've kind of replayed the sound of it stopping a lot in my head. And maybe there was something a bit unusual about that sound. Maybe it seized. The engine was hot. It wasn't hissing hot. It wasn't too hot to touch. It wasn't pipes are melting hot, where I've seen engines like as hot as that before. And it turned out it had no oil in. And we had checked the oil before it left, so it dumped all of its oil into the bilge at some point during the very small journey from the mooring to the water boat to the dock and out. And what should happen in that situation is that the oil pressure cutoff switch, which is a separate circuit, should kick in and stop the engine. So I'm hoping that that's the method by which it stopped. I can't hand crank the engine. So the engine appears to be seized, but it has sat for a couple of days. I'm only hand cranking it through the flywheel. It might shift with the starter motor if it's full of oil. And that's why I'm going to clean out the bilge today, and which is quite a surprisingly messy job actually, and to fill it with oil again and check for leaks. Obviously it's leaking catastrophically somewhere from underneath, and it hasn't sprayed oil around. There was no sound consistent with having punctured the sump or the casing. That would have been audible. I've actually heard an engine do that before when I was driving a little, what was it? It was a little Alfa Romeo sports car, little Alfa Romeo sports hatchback, 2 litre, and it sort of pushed the rod through the crankcase, through the sump, and or pushed a piston through, pushed something through anyway. That was a loud noise. There were flames, I would have noticed. I was standing right next to the engine. So there's some cause for hope. There's a lot of cause for concern. And obviously, potentially rebuilding the engine is a big job. So my plan is to clean out the sump and top up the oil, see where it's leaking, try and find the leak, try and find the engine drain plug. I'm assuming, I think it's possible that came out. I've been groping around for it and I can't find it. So I've got no choice, but it's a potential engine rebuild. Mike, the Russian, the engineer, was due to service the engine a week ago on Thursday, but unfortunately he fell off his boat. He had an accident, knocked himself out. So I had contacted him, and he's in Sri Lanka. at the moment collecting a boat. He's sailing that boat back across the Indian Ocean, and he should be back here early next week or mid next week. I've kind of got him penciled in, and if it has to go out for some sort of rebuild, then it has to. Um, but you know, it's blow. So I'm going to sort of go through the blow aspect of it in the fix your life section. This is just the captain's log, and I guess it's very much the fix your boat section today. So I'm going to discuss what the psychological ramifications are in a minute, because that's the nature of the channel. We look at the job, we look at the operands, the psychological operands, the economic operands, everything that affects the job, the context of it, because that's the nature of this journal. It's the nature of this mission, is to fix the boat and to upgrade my own psychological capacities at the same time, as I step into the role of becoming a captain and an operator of this boat. And this is obviously quite a severe test of all of that. It's actually potentially catastrophic for the whole mission, but I've had time to rally. I'll go through all of that in the Fix Your Life section. See you there. End of Captain's log. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of my psychological response, this is what I saw this morning, an early taste of cruising season, and it's beautiful. The air's so fresh. The weather's beautiful, and on Sunday when I was recovering, I went to see the big Buddha. This is just mystical and beautiful and magical. This is the sort of thing that I love, and it means so much. I really recommend you see the big Buddha if you come to Phuket. It's quite breathtaking. Not so much the size, just the presence of this, which overlooks the whole of the island. It's absolutely wonderful. There we go. Now, going a step back, I've got this footage of the Thai fishing boat. There's Captain Ron, whose friend towed us back for free, actually. A lot is said about Thai people only working for money, but they towed us back for free. We've got good friends here. That means a lot. He's a great guy. And yeah, these guys got on another fishing trip, and that's what it was. Sad sight. It's a beautiful boat, that Thai boat. Okay, let's get into the Fix Your Life section properly. There's a generator going in the background. Tough titty. I live on a boat, and it's only me watching anyway. So I don't know why I'm tough tittying to myself. But anyway, here we go. This was, the date of the incident, and as you can see, there was a substantial effect on my motivation, my positivity. My stress level shot up to a 9. My social connectedness. Yes, I just felt. To be honest, I felt it, and I've since recovered. I feel, compos mentis. I'm actually positive again, but it's a horrible feeling, and it feels like it's happened to me physically. because to some degree I am now melded with the boat. So, and the other psychological aspects are quite interesting as well. It did occur to me, am I just being a complete idiot trying to do what I'm doing here? I'm just, I've run out of money, but I'm so close. I'm so close. And this is just really, to me, at the moment, this is just another challenge, just another hurdle. It seems to be incredibly bad luck, but there are good sides. There are positive sides, silver linings. One, I get to really recondition and tune up the engine, get it really peachy good. I get to learn a lot about the engine. I see it stripped down. I'm going to take part in all of that and such rebuilding of it as there is, and I can have more confidence in it. And it should all be done in time for cruising season, for the prospective chartering of the boat. So, yeah. So I've been knocked down, as I say. I get back up again.
Today's episode is brief and to the point. According to the IPCC's own figures in 2005, the amount of CO2 emitted by humans was 5 gigatons, now 7 gigatons, and that from land and oceanic natural sources was 150 gigatons, or a ratio of about 21. Therefore, a 5% change in natural sources would exceed the entire human contribution. This does not even include submarine non-erupting volcanoes, which are estimated at 24 gigatons, by themselves 5 times the human contribution. This graph shows a sharp increase in human-emitted CO2 in 2007 on the left, and no corresponding jump in global levels of CO2 on the right. Therefore, it is safe to conclude that any current rise in CO2 is due to natural emissions. As always, please like, comment and subscribe to spread sanity and heal the world through words, not warfare.